The first 2 months, you still think with that pressure. Whenever you wake up, you think you've got the pressure. No, you haven't got it anymore. But you need to work on yourself and say, it's gone, it's fine, I do something different now.
Welcome everybody to F1 Beyond the Grid. My guest this week is Guenther Steiner. Guenther, how are you? Lovely to have you on the show again.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks for asking.
A lot has changed in your life, and dare I say it, you're looking more relaxed now.
I'm more relaxed. I'm pretty chilled out, to be honest, but a lot have changed, and it's, for me, it is very good. Life is good, so I have nothing to complain about. And sitting here with you, that's the highlight of the season,
Well, look, tell us about the change in the pace of your life, because being a team principal in Formula One is frenetic, it's non-stop. What are you getting up to now?
I sleep normally until 10 o'clock in the morning.
You're not. You're an early bird, I know that.
Yeah, no, without joking. I mean, I'm pretty busy. I mean, it was very strange when, after it was announced that me leaving Haas, I thought I'd take, some time off, think what I'm going to do next, or if I'm going to do anything next, or, just like slow down a lot. The day after, telephone, WhatsApp, everything started to ring, and people asked me to do things. And without any warning, I got busier as ever, So I control it a little bit because I don't want to, just run, because, the last 10 years were pretty demanding for me and my family, not only for me. I shouldn't always think only about me, but I do things what I like to do. The rest, I say thanks, but no thanks, because you cannot do everything what I'm asked to do, but I keep very busy. Actually, for an unemployed, I'm pretty busy, I'm a busy unemployed, but it's all good. I go to about half of the races in the season this year, which is the right amount for me. And I've got a lot of other things in the middle. And then I've got my own company, which I'm not getting involved on a day-to-day basis. My business partner's running it very well, so I have not no reason to go there now to stick my nose in, So, but there's a lot of things going on. I work on a few projects. I always keep busy, keep my mind going. So, but it's a good place. And whatever I do, I don't have the pressure on anymore, because whatever you do, it's finished after the event, And a race on Sunday night, I've won the race. When I get on the plane, I've won the race, because my job is finished there and then, Well, when you run a race team, the real job starts after the race, starts on Monday, and you get all the pressure. You have never time to breathe through, to really think what has been done. No, you keep on going. And so that's a lot better, and therefore it's a lot less stressful.
There's that sporting adage, pressure is a privilege. Did you always find pressure a privilege, or did it stop you sleeping?
Positive pressure is a privilege, because pressure can come two ways, negative and positive, I see. When you have pressure because you want to do something, you want to achieve something, you can achieve something, I like that pressure, to do something. I like to see I can achieve something. Negative pressure is when you are in a situation where you just, you have to dig yourself out of a hole all the time. That's negative, when everything goes negative, and that's then not nice anymore. That makes you, go down on yourself almost, because it just puts so much weight on you. While positive pressure is the opposite, gives you power, gives you, you jump again,
One former team principal told me it took him 14 months to relax after getting out of the pit lane. Are you feeling that? Are you relaxed now, genuinely?
I could believe that. Until you get, because it depends how long you have done it. It's so ingrained in you that you always think it's in there. I realized after about the first 2 months, you still think with that pressure. Whenever you wake up, you think you've got the pressure. No, you haven't got it anymore. But you need to work on yourself and say, it's gone, it's fine, I do something different now. As I said, I don't dislike positive pressure. There is things I need to do, and then I get them done, and I'm happy about them, So I don't know, because I didn't stop really working, It's not like that I got away completely from Formula One, that I was sitting at home and just waiting until all that I clean myself up from Formula One. No, I keep on going, doing things. So, but from running a team it didn't even take me 2 months, because I realized it was good for me not running it anymore where I was. Maybe this guy or whoever you spoke with was winning races, and then I think it takes longer to get to get through it. But if you're in a position where actually you don't feel happy, it wasn't too difficult for me. I said, it's not me anymore, you know.
You're now a TV pundit. You say you come to half the races. How has being on this side of the fence, if you like, changed your perspective of Formula One?
What I've learned, how much is going on outside of running a team, or the team perspective, call it like you called it on this side, being on the other side, call it like this, you know. So I don't know which one is the better one from this both sides. So I think when you're in there, you don't realize, or I didn't, maybe somebody else does, how much is going on and how much work is put in to have this show going. Because then, and when you take a step back from there and you look at it, you know, 100,000 of people over a weekend, you know, millions on TV, what is behind it? When you're in a team, you don't really think about it. The only thing you think about it is your team. You need to run it. You make the best out of it. So it is quite amazing how much an old man like me is still able to learn about things, you know. So and then, I mean, some of the people you work with from the other side, you know them, but you don't know them. But with working with them almost, you know them a lot better, you know, which is, again, opens up new perspectives in life, you know, because that is interacting with people there where you learn a lot.
Can we talk about your decade in charge of Haas now, beginning at the end, if we could? Because the end came as a surprise to me, certainly, and I think a lot of people. Was it a surprise to you?
No, it wasn't a surprise, because now thinking back, you know, I do a reflection. It was like I should have left before, because we spoke about pressure and negative pressure. You know, it's like it wasn't going anywhere where I wanted to go anymore. You know, I was just doing a job. I couldn't do what I wanted to do anymore. You know, the freedom was gone to do that, because you see what the other people are doing, and you cannot follow. You're basically there. You try to do your best, but you're treading water. You're standing still. You're trying to do the same with a lot less, you know. And there is no where finishing 7th, 8th, 9th in Formula One is great. Making points is great. But when you're doing it for years and years, trying to get that final point, it gets old. It gets old. It's pretty tough to say that, but it's not nice to be in that position, you know, because you want to have a vision. I can get to the podium one day. And actually, if I'm honest to myself, or where I was, it's not going to happen.
So when should you have gone? You say you should have gone before. When was it clear, with hindsight, that you couldn't do what you wanted to do?
I would say after we survived the COVID era, you know, after the team survived commercially the COVID era, I should have moved on. You know, I got it through. Let's move on now, do something else.
How did Gene explain not renewing your contract? How did the conversation go?
It was like he wasn't happy with the results, and I wasn't either, by the way, you know. So it's like, but it wasn't all my doing, you know. It wasn't just because of me, you know. It's like, and I said, if you're not happy, I'm not happy. The best is, you know, we don't renew it, or.
Guenther, you have a huge fan base everywhere you go. I mean, just watching you around the paddock here, fans want to have selfies with you. Were you too much of a maverick for Gene Haas? Too unorthodox?
It could be, but that's a question for him, and I don't think you will ever get an answer to it, you know. But anyway, I cannot answer that one. I don't know, because I don't know how he thinks.
In a world where trust is everything, showing your customers that their data is secure is a huge win for your business. Whether you're just getting started or ready to scale your security program, having seamless, reliable compliance systems in place is key. And with Guenther, you can automate compliance for ISO 27001, SOC 2, GDPR, and more. So you can focus on what you do best, which is running your business. By saving you time and money, Guenther makes security feel effortless while helping you build and maintain that all-important customer trust. But it doesn't stop there. Guenther's AI technology also helps you simplify the whole security review process, automating questionnaires and giving you the tools to showcase your security practices with a customer-facing trust center. So join the ranks of over 8,000 companies worldwide, names like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Cora, who use Guenther to manage risk and prove security in real time. Our audience gets a special offer of $1,000 off Guenther at guenther.com/grid. That's VANTA.com/grid for $1,000 off.
when you look back at your time as a team boss, do you think you're a good one?
I think there is better ones and there is worse ones. You never can say you're good, you're the best, because nobody can claim that for himself. There's always something better out there, someone better out there, I think. I wouldn't say I was bad. I made the best out of the situation I was in. Could somebody else do better? Sure. Could somebody else do worse? Sure. You never know. But I don't think I was bad.
What are the key attributes that a person needs to be a good team boss in Formula One?
I think, first of all, he needs a lot of drive. He needs a good understanding of the sport. He needs a good understanding of the politics, of the business. There's a lot of things you need to understand, and these things you need to understand which come just with time, So you need to be in the sport, in my opinion, quite a while until you are getting really good at it.
Do you need to be a control freak?
I wouldn't control freak, but you need to be a control freak of control freaks. And then, because if you try to micromanage something, you will not have success. You need to have people which I wouldn't say you control, but you trust. You need to have people around you you trust that they do a job like you want it to be done, or better. Because I always say I always want better people than me working for me. Because then you're successful. But you need to be a little bit obsessed by having the best people around you, and that is the control you may need. But the control freak in the element that you need to know every little bit yourself or tell everybody what to do, I think that in these days doesn't work anymore.
Which team principals on the grid do you admire now, 2024?
I would say the people which are there a long time. Toto, if you look back how he came in, it was not easy for him beside Nicky, and I think how he also established himself by getting equity in the team. It's astonishing. The guy is obviously very bright how he does it, and puts himself in a position, but he's not happy with that. He wants success, so I think he's one which is doing a fantastic job, in my opinion. I think there are other ones which are doing a good job as well. It's not like he's good, he's bad, but I think the one outstanding here, I would say, is Toto.
I always saw a good rapport between you and Fred Vasseur.
Yeah, absolutely. Fred, Christian, they're all good. They're all good team principals. I said they are not. I wouldn't say that anybody bad is in here. You don't make it to team principal if you're bad. So I've got a very good. I think where Fred is different to Toto. Fred comes from racing. He worked his way up through the F2, F3. Had his own teams. Still, he's got his own team, by the way. Or partly. So it's a complete different background he's coming from. While Toto came in at the top end with Williams as a shareholder, and but they're both. When Christian is doing a good job, he won I don't know how many world championships. You can never deny that. But a complete different model again, how he came into it.
What about Mattia Binotto? Are you surprised to see him back with Audi?
No, I'm not surprised at all that Mattia is back at Audi. Obviously they had to do something. They were not happy where they were at in preparation for 2026 when Audi comes in officially as Audi, and they had to do something. And Mattia knows the big corporate world. He worked at Ferrari. He knows a big team. Ferrari is a big team. He knows that is what Audi needs, because I don't think Audi can be in Formula One to fight for points. Audi needs to fight for podiums and wins. How quick he comes is to be seen, but and Mattia comes from that background. He has seen it all like this, and Mattia was free to go there right now, because all the other people, if you want somebody else, you have to wait a year or so.
And Mattia is a former engineer, and 8 of the 10 teams are now run by former engineers. Is that a surprise to you?
Not really.
Is it a good thing for Formula One?
I don't think you can say it's good or bad. I think what has changed a little bit, the team principle now, it's more a sporting team principle. I think a lot of this team principle, the commercial side, is handled by a CEO or by an owner. So they split it up a little bit. I think the only team which is still run like, not the only team, but maybe one of the only ones is Mercedes, where Toto does everything a little bit, but Toto has more emphasis to have good technical people around him, and he does all the rest, while the other teams maybe have got the technical guy as a team principal and the commercial guy looking after marketing and all that stuff. For example, look at McLaren. That is the best example. Zach is the CEO, but Zach clearly looks after the business of McLaren F1, and Andrea looks after the Go Racing of McLaren F1.
Let's reflect on some of the achievements now that you had at Haas. What do you think was your proudest moment?
I think the proudest moment was when we showed up in Australia in 2016, ready to go, and we scored points. I think that is a moment nobody can take away, because at the time there was a lot of people, a lot of naysayers, and maybe you were one of them as well, Tom. So I have to cut you out here. So I'm sure you were.
I was not.
And I understand why people were. I wasn't upset about it. You don't have to be. I could understand it, because there were so many new teams which didn't make it, which struggled at the time. So, but that was not the motivation. The motivation was to do a good job and to get there ready, because we promised we will be ready. And getting there ready, everything was prepared. We had plenty of issues, but we sorted them before we started the race. And then scoring points is for sure a proud moment for the whole team.
Points in the first 2 races of 2016.
Yeah, the second one was already a given.
But Guenther, how on the limit was the run-up to 2016? I mean, yes, we look back and we say, wasn't it brilliant, you scored points, but were there moments, even when you arrived in Melbourne?
100% control, Tom, no. I would say the people we had around, or Haas had around, were very good people. I was never really worried that we didn't make it. I was more worried how much work we have to put in to make it. What we have to do to make it. It's not like we never doubted that it will happen. And that's completely honest. And that's not just because it all went well, I say it. At the time, I was not losing any sleep. We worked hard. We stayed long at the track, everything. But we knew for what we have done, we were in a good place, and we needed a little bit of luck, and we got a little bit of luck as well.
What about that P5 in the Constructors' Championship in 2018?
I mean, that was fantastic. I mean, something I think not many people achieved to do, but also now with hindsight, it created expectations which were not realistic, because it was almost too easy. The third year finishing P5, it created a lot of expectations which then couldn't be followed up, but for a good reason, because in racing you have ups and downs.
So what, do you think the team took its eye off the ball for 2019, or?
No, I wouldn't say it took the eyes off the ball, but it was expected from the owner or from the ownership just to keep on going. I mean, in another 3 years we win the World Championship. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I mean, do you think that's what Gene was expecting?
I think he was expecting, I say now, the World Championship, but going on the podium the next year, that was the least he could do, because it was pretty easy to get to P5.
And how much of a frustration is it for you that you never got that podium?
I mean, it's a frustration, but it's one of the things, because I'm not blaming myself or the team over it. We were in a different position in the beginning. That was, with the setup we had, was never achievable, or the plan. We were participating, but then when we should have made the next move, we didn't. And then what can you do? I mean, it's one of the things.
This episode is sponsored by Shopify. When you look at powerhouse brands like Alo and Allbirds, it's easy to get swept up in their stellar marketing, sleek products, and stunning branding. But there's an often overlooked force driving that success: the business behind the business. And for millions of companies, that secret weapon is Shopify. Shopify isn't just another e-commerce tool, it's the benchmark for success in online selling. With its powerful features, Shopify delivers an unmatched checkout experience, ensuring every transaction flows smoothly for both you and your customers. Take advantage of Shop Pay and watch your conversions increase by up to 50%. That's not just minimizing abandoned carts, it's about transforming maybe later into buy now faster than ever. The bottom line is this: if you want to level up your business, you need a platform that meets your customers wherever they are, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell with Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/beyondthegrid, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/beyondthegrid to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/beyondthegrid.
While we're talking about frustrations, Melbourne 2018, the pit stop drama. You're running in the points. Just for all the good things we've just discussed, I just did want to highlight a few of the frustrations. You know, how do you reflect on that race? Could it have changed things for you somehow if you'd actually got across the line in, what was it, 4th and 5th?
No, not a lot would have changed. I mean, we could have finished 4th in the champ. We could. I mean, it for sure it's not a given that we would have. It's obviously we lost points, but it's part of racing. You know, you cannot reflect and be upset about it the rest of your life. It happened. It is an event. You need to learn from it and get away stronger. You know, it was for sure not a good moment, but what it was is we survived. We got on with the thing. The mechanics, the team got stronger because they could see that it wasn't like, because somebody made a mistake, which wasn't only his fault, we got together, discussed it, and moved on.
And then is the Grosjean crash in Bahrain 2020, is that a moment that still wakes you up at night?
No, because again, the good what came out, he survived. Obviously, he has got a little bit of burns. He would be happier not having them. But in the end, it was a bad situation. But it ended up as good as it could. So I think it would be different if it wouldn't have ended up like this. That would still. I don't think I could completely forget that one. But like it is now, and I discussed it with Romain, and I think in the end. He got away. He was lucky. Not only lucky, I think, again, shows what Formula One has done over the years to make cars safe has helped, because without that stuff, he wouldn't be around anymore. Halo, Hans, and all that things to explain a little bit. But in the end, it doesn't keep me awake because it ended as good as it could.
Talking of Grosjean, let's talk about some of the drivers you employed at Haas. Who was the fastest?
Very, very, very difficult to say. I mean, I would say Romain on a good day, he's as fast as anybody, but then there are not good enough days. There are not enough good days. Sorry, I got that mixed up. Yeah. And I discussed that openly with him as well. I'm not saying Romain on a good day. I mean, there is nobody out there which can beat you, but it's the consistency which is missing. I would say Nico, when he came back, he surprised me how quick he was. I know he was quick, otherwise we wouldn't have taken him, obviously. But I was surprised how quick he was, That surprised me. So now it would be nice to know him compared with another very, very good driver in the team to see how good he is, So it always, because you always need a reference to say how good somebody is. And if you haven't got the same reference, how can you? It's a feeling. It's not factual, So, but I think, as I said, Romain on a good day is second to none.
And I guess we should talk about Kevin Magnussen. He's done more races for Haas than anyone else. He's moving on from the team at the end of 2024. What is his greatest strength?
He's a team player. He's fast. When the car is fast, he's a fighter. He fights for everything. I think when the car is not where he wants it to be, he says why, and I understand it fully. That is no. What difference does it make to become 16th or 17th? Not really a lot, though. So.
You say he's a fighter. Did you and him have quite good scraps?
Oh, I've got scraps with anybody. I mean, you know that. I mean, but that doesn't mean that I've got a good relationship afterwards. So yeah, no. I mean, but we still get on. I mean, we still have got a good relationship. It's what Kevin and I get along very well because we can agree to disagree without a problem. And then move on. I mean, it's
very straightforward.
Yeah,
like
yeah. We have got different opinions, but who cares? Okay. You think this, I think this. Just let's move on.
Well, and not all drivers are like that, obviously.
No, not all drivers, because they cannot agree to disagree. They think they have to tell you that it is the way they think it. No, I mean, but I'm fine with that normally.
A clash of egos, I guess.
I guess so, yeah.
And who is the fastest driver you've worked with in Formula One? Because people watching and listening, if you're new to Formula One, may not know that you were at, Red Bull and Jaguar back in the day. Who's been the fastest of all?
It was different eras, this ones. You cannot compare it because there were different skills required. It was it was a different sport. I mean, I don't think that you can even say who was the fastest F1 driver, not which I worked with in general, because every era had its own fastest driver. So it's very, I think you do unjust to the people which were very fast in their time. How could you say Jackie Stewart? I mean, I was told from everybody who raced him, he was very, very, very good, But I think Ayrton Senna was very, very good, So who was faster? Jackie Stewart. Niki Lauda was very good in a different way. He could get points out of everything, He was the ultimate calculator and fast, So there you've got all these different skills you needed at different times in Formula 1. So you cannot say one guy was the fastest one. It's the same because I'm this old now that I worked a long time ago in Formula 1. To say now that Eddie Irvine was faster than Romain Grosjean is difficult to say because...
But do you not think the DNA of the sport is still the same?
The DNA is still the same, but what makes you fast maybe is different because in the old days you had to do a lot of other stuff yourself more than now. Now you've got more engineers than ever looking after your car. At the time, you had 2 engineers looking after your car, and you need to be a good technical mind that you knew how the car was set up and things like this. That made you fast at the time. These days, a driver doesn't know the anti-roll bar or whatever happens in the car anymore. In the old days, I was told that people had, when the wings, the front wings, for example, were handmade, the quality was not the same like now. Every front wing is 100% the same, or 99.999 the same, because you have quality control in place. 30, 40 years ago, you could have a good front wing and a bad front wing. So the driver, always I know that they looked after the good front wing.
Absolutely understand everything you've just said, but I think the tightrope of being on the limit of grip through a corner is the same whether you were in the 50s in a Mercedes with Fangio or whether you're Max Verstappen today.
Whew, you're putting me to the test here. Yeah, it is the same.
So I think
obviously the grip level is different,
drivers.
but to find that limit is the same. Yes. So I think we then have to say Fangio was the fastest. Fangio, I don't know about this much about that era because obviously the grip level at the time was a lot less. To find it was a lot more difficult because I think it was a lot more snappy. So, but that's why I say for me, giving one guy, you are the hero and all the other guys are behind you, I don't think that's fair. Therefore, I don't want to go to that one person. I've got a lot of drivers I respect a lot, what they did. And I think they're all good. But the ultimate best, as you call it, the grip master, I don't know that one.
Spark something uncommon this holiday season with incredible hand-picked gifts from Uncommon Goods. From unique gifts for the holiday hosts, to whimsical finds for kids and awesome surprises for everyone from bookworms to sports enthusiasts and crafters to collectors. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone. I love how you can search by interest. Select their favourite hobby or sport, like pickleball, and you'll find a selection of quirky pickleball-themed gifts like tumblers, clothing, and even snack trays. Or if you've got a little one in your life that loves racing as much as you do, there's a really sweet personalised kids book that places your child at the centre of the story as the race car driving hero out to win a big race. And you can even include the names of family and friends too to make it extra special. And when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting a community of artists and independent makers, so don't let the holiday season creep up on you. Uncommon Goods has original, handmade treasures that will leave your loved ones grinning from ear to ear. To get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/grid. That's uncommongoods.com/grid for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Let's talk about the current guys on the grid now. Tell us about the impression Max Verstappen leaves on you. Is he the best guy out there at the moment?
I think he is because he's young, he's very hungry, he's a racer and he's very talented, all this put together. But then you could say that for Lewis Hamilton as well. He won 7 championships. Lewis for sure is a fantastic driver, but is Lewis as driven and hungry like Max is? I don't know. Maybe Max in 5 years is different as well. We don't have the Max now like the Max from 4 or 5 years ago anymore. He now starts to be a calculator. I think Lando, talent-wise, is very similar or the same. But is he as aggressive, as hungry? Would he do the things Max is doing to win? or not. This is the little things which makes a difference in this day. So I think as a complete driver in the moment, Max for sure, in my opinion, is the best.
And with your team principal hat on, should McLaren have started supporting Lando Norris earlier in the season?
I would have, I'm not trying to teach Andrea Stella what to do. I would have. I mean, I always see it like this. When you have an opportunity to win world championships and they can win constructors, obviously it doesn't matter who of the two finish first or second, But if you have got a chance in a year to win constructors and drivers, you need to try to do it, in my opinion. Not you. What the other ones are doing, I cannot influence it. Everybody has got his own right to do what he wants.
But how does it destabilise a team when you do that? If you're asking Oscar Piastri to give up a race win, how does that affect him? How does that affect Oscar's relationship with the team?
First of all, I think you need to obviously talk and explain to Oscar why and what are you doing. And Oscar is very young, second season, your time will come. We will support you when you put yourself in this position in the next years. And if he disagrees, in the end, I think a team is always above any individual.
I would agree with that, except you say your time will come in the future. There are no guarantees in this sport that Oscar will be in a race-winning car in the future. So it's hard for him to give up a win, isn't it?
And it's not easy, and not easy to convince him. I'm not saying it's easy, and it will create some friction. I mean, it doesn't come. We are all going out of this meeting room when you are told you're not allowed to win. You need to let your teammate win. He will not be happy. But sometimes unhappiness creates success. You cannot. Everything comes at a cost. But how disappointing would it be if Lando doesn't win the Drivers' World Championship for McLaren? But I mean, I see that one. I see that one as the big goal. For the team. You have got hundreds of people working there. And because one team member was not prepared to give something up because he cannot win the World Championship, Oscar, the Drivers' World Championship. He's not prepared to give a race win up for his teammate which can win the World Championship. I think you've got hundreds of people which are unhappy with you, and you always have to think that as well.
So for a team, you're saying the Drivers' Championship is more important than the Constructors' Championship?
I wouldn't say more in the good old days, when we were young. I think the constructors was more important. I think now it's 50-50 because of the sport, how it has developed with the new generation coming in. The driver has got a lot more visibility. In the old days, the manufacturer was driving for the championship, and that's what you want to be. Now, because the drivers are the heroes again, it is very important to have a McLaren driver winning the Drivers' Championship as well. So it's a 50-50, I would say.
Throw it forward to 2025. Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc at Ferrari. What kind of an impact do you expect Lewis to have on that team?
I think he will try to leave. I mean, he's already leaving a legacy in the sport. He won 7 championships, I think he wants to try to do the magic to bring Ferrari back to winning championships, and that I think that is his drive. Obviously, I haven't spoken with him about it, but I can see that one, his motivation to go there, try to bring it back. I'm a GOAT anyway, I won 7 championships. What more can I do? At Mercedes, I can win my 8 maybe if you're doing a good job. At Ferrari, if I win my 8 or win a championship for Ferrari, the guy will end up in the Vatican.
Look, you know Ferrari well because of Haas's links with the team. Can you understand the magic of Ferrari, the lure of Ferrari for someone like Lewis?
Yeah, because I think all the drivers, we all understand that because Ferrari is in F1, the team which is longest there in Formula 1 is this, I think a Ferrari without Formula 1 is not Ferrari, and Formula 1 without Ferrari is not Formula 1, I think it's just this magic which this prancing horse carries, and if you have the chance to be part of it as a driver, in a good position, and he's in a good position. He's very close with Fred Vasseur. They know each other. They won a lot in the junior formulas, Lewis and Fred with his team. They're very close, and I think they try to do something together. It's if they achieve it, it must be pretty cool for both of them.
And do you think Charles Leclerc has got another gear to rise to the challenge of Lewis Hamilton?
I think he has got it. I think what Charles can learn from Lewis is Lewis rarely makes mistakes. He's a very complete driver. He's a very calculating, very complete driver. He has seen so much, he has done so much, but also outside of racing, how he conducts himself, still focusing on racing, but doing a lot of other stuff as well, is quite, sometimes you think how he does it all, but he's just well prepared, I think, and over the years, he learned it, and if Charles, which is a clever guy, will look at it and see, hey, I can have this success as well, because driving-wise, I think Charles can pull something out of the bag as well. Driving-wise, he's not behind Lewis. But Lewis, as a race car driver, is more complete. Not the speed is there, but he's more complete. And Charles, because he's younger and he didn't have the experience Lewis has got, can learn from him.
I think we're seeing Charles do things in a racing car this year that we haven't seen him do before. Monza, brilliant race to do that one-stop strategy. And I'm not sure Charles would have done that so effectively 2-3 years ago?
No, but again, in 2-3 years, he matured, and the team made the decision and gave him the confidence that it's doable doing it on a one-stop. It's it's one of those things, and Baku qualifying, putting this lap together. What can you say about that? 3/10 to McLaren. That's 3/10 of him in there.
Yeah, it was epic, wasn't it? Yeah. Look, final one on other teams. Adrian Newey. Can one guy make the difference at Aston Martin?
No. But one guy can make the difference by bringing other people in. And Adrian will attract other people. Adrian will have people around him that they can make it happen. I think what Lawrence Stroll is doing, he's putting his hand where his mouth is. He put up the facility, put up a new wind tunnel. He makes the investment. The only thing missing, it was not missing. He has got a big technical team there. But Adrian is out there. Obviously, the guru of F1 cars was on the market. What does Lawrence do? He gets him as well. So could Adrian do it on his own? No. But Adrian knows what he needs to do to get it done.
It's fascinating hearing you talk about Formula One and not just one team, because throughout your career you've been focused on two cars in a race, right? Are you enjoying seeing the whole picture?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot, and it's because you can think more about the other things, what is actually happening, not thinking for them, just analyzing why things happen, how they happen, because before, when you run a team, the only thing you think about yourself, and you have got this tunnel vision where you just want to get from one race to the next and try to get a few points.
Do you think you'd be a better team boss now with the experience you've had and the conversations that you have with other teams now that you weren't able to have before?
For sure, you always learn, sitting with you, doing commentary and stuff like this, I learned a lot, so for sure that made me would make me a better team principal, but no, you always learn, you can never say, life is about learning, whatever you've got the opportunity to learn and not just dig, because if you just work, you still learn, but it's a slower speed, but like this, you learn a lot because you can look into it deeper what other people are doing.
So what's next? Are we going to see you back on the pit wall?
If I just would know. I don't know. I'm not in a hurry to get a job because I'm busy enough, I actually don't want just a job, If there is a project or something to be done, which I believe in, I'm happy to do it. I've got the energy, everything, but I'm not just taking a job to sit on pit wall.
Okay, but you're working with Miami. You're an author, of course. Second book coming out quite soon.
Yeah, coming out 10th of October, yeah. I keep busy, yeah. I do. I work with Miami for the GP, ambassador there. I've got a lot of things going on, That's why I say I'm not short of work. That for what I do next is not like just getting a job to sit on pit wall and saying I'm a team principal. It needs something I believe in, I want to do, and I've got an opportunity to do good. I was in contact with a few teams, contacted me, but it wasn't for me, So I'm... Thanks, but no thanks, and explain why. It's not disrespect. I just don't want to do just more of the same. I want to do, I learned a lot in the 10 years. What I learned, I want to, if I do something again, I want to use it to make it better, but not just going to do another job.
And you've got the live tour, Guenther Steiner live tour coming up, haven't you?
Absolutely, yeah. Are you coming?
What does that involve? Is it just a chat, or
Yes,
are you
it's just a chat. A little bit
on the
like we are
stage?
doing, you know. It's
but
like
with a live audience?
yeah, with a live audience. Yeah, with Q&A with a live audience, you know. So it is just people like it, you know. We found that people liked it, and obviously was approached by an organizer, and they organized it, and I will be there.
Well, Guenther, good luck with everything. If I could just end this the traditional way on Beyond the Grid now, which is some quick fire questions. First one, what else are you good at?
Nothing. You said fire questions now. What else?
I don't believe nothing.
You see how hard I have to think of, you know? Yeah, it must be nothing.
But if I asked your wife, what would she say? What were you good at?
I'm a good husband, she would say.
Okay, very good. Now, which racing person, dead or alive, would you like to be stuck in a lift with?
Senna, because I never met him. Ayrton Senna. Just because people speak highly about him, and I would like to be stuck with him to see what he really was.
Anything in particular you'd like to ask him?
No, nothing in particular. Just like understand the guy, how he thought about things, and how he got to the success he had.
Okay. Who would play you in a film?
Clint Eastwood.
That's the first Clint Eastwood we've had. We get a lot of Brad Pitts and things like that, but yeah. Dirty Harry. Who is the coolest person in your contacts?
I have to think my contacts, you know. You know, I'm not well prepared. These are questions I'm not used to get, you know.
I reckon you have got some pretty cool people in there. I don't know, film stars, sports stars.
I've got a few.
Any American sports stars? I saw you do some ice hockey before one of the American races.
Yeah, in Canada it's some ice hockey, yeah, but no, I'm not really. I mean, I'm not, you know, big stars guy.
Well, you can say your wife Gertrude if you want.
Exactly. My wife. Oh, she will be happy. You know, you made my day, Tom. Made her day.
Look, final one. If you had a podcast like this, who would be your first guest?
Susie Wolf, because I'm actually doing a podcast with Susie Wolf in 2 days.
Okay. There you go.
Oh,
Perfect.
exactly. That's a perfect answer, you know.
Yeah, okay. Guenther, thank you very much for your time. Great to chat.
Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.